Yeah, this is Oracle My Support. I mean, not everybody can access this. So in here, you can see the certifications. Here, this one. So under certifications, if you go here, we can check the platform compatibility. See our product now, our product, we want to install Oracle database now. So we can just type database. So it will automatically filter. And I can get the release. Release is, I want to, let's say 21, latest version. And I can select the platform. See, even in platform list, we don't have Windows 11 even. That's the problem. Microsoft Windows 10, that is what is available. So therefore, it is not guaranteed that you can install even 21, the latest in Windows 11 for the time being. It will take some time. So that's the problem. So there can be incompatibilities. Fine. Okay, so shall we proceed? Any questions? Today, only 12 participants, right? I'm not sure why power problem, so I'm not sure anyway. But anyway, let's start. Now almost 10 minutes gone. So any questions you can discuss prior to start? Okay, if not, let's continue. Actually, I'm not sure whether I have uploaded this guide. Let me upload it on tomorrow, day after. I'll upload this guide. So let's start. Last day, in fact, we did some hands-on with Oracle database. We start, and I think start command was tested. And we mentioned how to identify Oracle database with the up and running. Those things we learned. And we connected to the database, and we got the status as well. Now let's continue from there. Now last day, actually we discussed on most of the things we did on Windows platform. So today let's get to know about Linux platform as well. I'm in Linux at the moment. I have my database. There are several terminals I have started. Let me keep one terminal here. Okay, now I have connected to here. I can just type show user, same in Windows as well. So I have connected the system here. But at the moment, you may not aware who is system is. Let me just clear it. Let me connect our regular user, sys. That you know, last day we learned sys again as sysdb. We know this one. Last day we learned that. Now show user 6. That's okay. And just to revise, select name from VDollar database. In last day I mentioned what is VDollar is. VDollar will give you ongoing information. VDollar, we can say those are views actually. VDollar view. One of the major VDollar views is VDollar database. We can see what is happening as of now. The database name also we can take. We can describe it and see, describe VDollar database. Now, how many of you can do the practicals with me like this? Anyone who is doing at the moment with me? Yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah, we have. Yeah, great. Go ahead. If you have any questions while you're doing the practical with me, just on the chat, or you can just tell me. We have a problem like this. So on the fly, you can do with me, and we can continue as it is interactively. That's the best way to learn actually. So select name and below database, you can see database. We have many columns in this particular view. Database ID. So I just took this column, select name from below database. So I just want to find out to which database which I am connected to. So I got the name. This is my name, TNH19DB. That is the name of my database. And on last day, I think we checked another method to get the name. I just typed command called show parameter name. So last day we did this one as well. So this is another way actually. So we have to learn what I mean by this show parameter. I just mentioned there are more than 3,000 parameters in Oracle database. So let's learn what you mean by parameter later. For the time being, just to check where am I connected to. We can find either by typing select name or show parameter. So VDollar database will give you a lot of information. Database open mode, read only, read write, login mode, archive mode, no archive log mode. Let's see those things later. Fine, and the latest pluggable database architecture, I'll introduce that one later once you get familiar with the basic database. The containerized database, because Oracle has multi-tenancy architecture, non-multi-tenancy architecture, because Oracle is a built-in containerized database. So let's learn that one later, because it heavily supports for containerization. I think last year I mentioned something called converged database. Oracle is a converged database. So we need to learn that one as well. The reason is nowadays, at the managerial level, top level, they are looking to get their workload, most of the workload to be handled from a single database. I'm not sure you got what I'm telling. It's like this. For example, let's say now what are the major things you are looking for a database? From a database, you expect to store data, right? And if you get a table, you keep records. And again, if it is depending on the business nature, you may use it for online transaction processing or as a warehouse. That is the old way of understanding a database. No, that's a traditional method. But now those things are no longer valid. Now from a database, we are expecting to handle what? Non-structured data, semi-structured data. We expect database to support for analytics, predictive analytics, data science, statistical report, dashboards, data insights. We need everything. That is the expectation nowadays. Now the problem is not all databases are supporting this. I mean, if a database can support from end to end these requirements from one end to other end, I mean, from OLTP to analytics to reporting to machine learning to and all the requirements. There are requirements like that. So then that is the best database. That is the expectation from the industry as of now. So that kind of a database is known as a converged database. Converged database. CONVE. I'll show you that one. Converged database. So Oracle from 19C onwards is a converged database. It is supporting in a single platform, in a single database. It is supporting containerization. It is supporting machine learning. It is supporting analytics, predictive analysis, insight, operational statistics, everything. Okay. So whatever you say, it will support as per the industry need. So that is a converged database. So that's why we need to get an understanding on that one as well. Because if you take the closest competitor for Oracle, now who is the closest competitor for Oracle database? Anyone can try to answer. How the Rangam attacker? Who is the most rival? Who is the most competitor? Closest one. Anyone? I mean database as a database. No one aware? Just give an attempt. MongoDB. MongoDB. Yeah, open source database. Okay, so that is a research for you actually. Redis. Yeah, okay. Okay, good. Anyway, you have done some studies on industry actually, Redis database. IBM databases, okay, GraphDB, everything is coming out. Fine, okay. Yeah, so just do that search. Just look for the best database engines in the world. If you just Google, I'm not going to do it now. Just Google what are the best database engines. Yes, actually you are quite close, but we need to look at overall. Now, overall, the closest competitor for Oracle is Postgre and DB2. Postgres database and DB2. Those are the most closest competitors for Oracle. DB2 is from IBM. Postgre, we have different versions, open source versions, and proprietary versions as well is there. So Postgre and DB2. But remember, they cannot meet up at least the 70% of Oracle database performance requirements. I mean, Oracle database is performance is very high. It is built in, I mean, manageable by design performance. So they cannot meet at least the 70% of Oracle database performance levels. So that's fine. But closest competitor is Postgre and IBM DB2. So anyway, so these Oracle, I mean, is this a true multi-tenancy database? We need to understand what do you mean by multi-tenancy. Nowadays, if a database is not supporting multi-tenancy architecture, it is a bit difficult to go ahead with containerization. We'll understand why later, containerization. So because we know now it is everything is on containerization because that's the best, that's the quickest way to deploy applications. Automation, digital transformation, we need that containerization support. Okay, let's talk about those things little by little. Now, coming back to this show parameter name, and then we need to get the status of the database. So very simple, we can just select status from Builder database. I made a mistake, right? No, that is not the problem. Status column is not available in Builder database. It is available in Builder instance, another Builder instance. So we need to understand what is a database and what is the instance. Let's learn those things. Status is open at the moment. Status is open at the moment. Fine. So that much we learned actually on last day. So let's continue from there. Before that, let me just play a video for you so that I think it will be important for you to understand these things. This is something on Converge database. Let me see whether I have that one downloaded. Yeah, I have it. Okay, but I don't think you heard the sound, right? Let me stop share. I think I haven't shared the sound for you. Let me stop and reshare with the sound. Okay, just reshare with the sound.
Analytics and AI, they're faced with a terrible.
Can you hear the sound? Did you hear?
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Okay, let me play it from the beginning. This is Oracle presenting a little bit of, I think, only 2 minutes video about their Converge database. Just listen to it.
As companies build lots of new apps, analytics, and AI, they're faced with a terrible choice. Do they want developers to be more productive now, or their data to be more productive later? See, developers just want to get to work. And so they'll often prefer a single purpose database, like a document or graph database for the thing they're making right now. But the data that app produces could be really useful to lots of other apps, analytics, and AI. Those uses, though, often require query languages or access methods that the single purpose database just doesn't support. This causes all kinds of headaches for CTOs. So developers want one thing: the ease of use and specific features that come from single-purpose databases. And CTOs want something else: the ease of repurposing data across the enterprise that comes from common tooling, schedules for upgrades and patches, as well as security policies across all of the databases involved. So how can a company improve both its developer productivity and its data productivity? The answer is Oracle's Converge database. Oracle's Converge database is a multi-model, multi-tenant, multi-workload database. Multi-model means native support for multiple data models, including JSON, graph, and relational, and multiple access methods, some of which are cross-model, like REST APIs and SQL, some of which are model-specific, like PGQL for property graphs. Multi-tenant means a container architecture in the data tier, providing consolidation, isolation, and agility for databases, which is a much better match to the containerization in the app tier. Multi-workload means a wide array of optimizations for different kinds of database jobs, like parallel execution for machine learning, or fast in-memory commits for streaming data coming in from smart sensors. Oracle's Converge database is available in multiple clouds as local cloud in your own data center, but managed by Oracle, as well as on premises. Perhaps best of all, Oracle Autonomous Database delivers Oracle's Converged Database as a fully managed cloud service. With Oracle's Converged Database, companies can give both developers and CTOs what they want, improving both developer productivity and data productivity at the same time. Go to Oracle Cloud today and try Oracle Autonomous Database to see the power of Oracle's Converged Database for yourself.
Yeah, so just the introductory video, 2 minutes video. I'll talk about the converged database in more detail later because we need to get into those features, AI, ML, and how it's going to a little bit in detail. So let's talk about that one later. And about these videos, now, I think if you look at the learning platform very recently, Technology Innovation Hub learning platform, now we are in progress of increasing the audio and video quality of the channel. Now you may notice in the playlist, I have introduced a total new playlist because, for example, 2022 Q1, and this one is going to have the updated versions of this Oracle as a long-term carrier. So even this video should be updated. I'll be uploading the latest very soon because this series was there. I think some of you already may have seen the same series were there in this portal, Oracle portal 2021 Q2. That was last year, 5 months back. So same series is there, but now a new version is going to come up. So I have already uploaded one, but that's also going to get changed. In next week, I'll be uploading the whole thing. So just take a look at the new version as well. It's okay, this old version, but it's an improved version. The new version is much improved version, which is going to get listed on this particular playlist. In this playlist 2022-01, because we are going to upgrade the videos and sessions for with the latest, because now certain videos are 5 months old, so it's time to get the latest. Even in DevOps there are new things are there. 5 months is okay, but we are going to present new things. So in this portal, I'll be putting those videos, whatever I am playing in the class now. With this session, I am playing certain videos, so I'll be uploading those things here. You can watch it. No need to upload again in the LMS, but I'll upload it here. Fine. So let's continue. Select a name. Now the next thing in our guide here, if you go this one, just to get familiar in Linux platform, the ID command, we know that one. Now you need to learn these things. ID command, let me slowly get into those things. It is on OS. Now I am in OS. I'm just typing ID. So you may notice who is the user. ID is nothing much. On the terminal, now this is the terminal. Now on the terminal, I can identify who am I. Same command. Who am I? Same command. So ID will give you more details about who am I. Who is the user currently logged in? That is given by ID command. So that is currently who is the one? Oracle. And ID command will give you more details actually. It will give user identification because there is a particular ID is given and a group ID is given and which group is belongs to likewise. So no need to worry about everything. But in Linux, we can check all of those things because at the installation, there are certain built-in groups that we need to create. These things can be created automatically actually, DBA group, OS operator group, and DGDBS. Likewise, there are inbuilt groups which is required for normal database to operate. So ID will give you who is currently logged in. So why Oracle? Now if I type exit from here, and now if I just type who am I, or let's type ID command, now it is telling, now it is not Oracle, it is root, similar to administrator on Windows. So normally root is the super user because this administrator, but when we work in with Oracle, we never use root. We don't do that. So at the time of the installation itself, if you have gone through the installation, you may have noticed we are creating a separate user to manage the Oracle installation and manage Oracle database. So that is the Oracle user. So there are best practices. There are best practices. I don't know whether you have seen this one, but let me just, you may have come across this word. If you have watched the installation video, you may have seen, you may have heard something called OFA. OFA. OFA is what? Oracle Flexible Architecture. Oracle Flexible Architecture. So OFA is telling you how you should manage the installation within the operating system. How you should manage, what are the best practices that you follow, how you should organize your data, installation files, binaries within the disk. Now, for example, see, if I just type, okay, let me just log in back to Oracle. I'll explain SU commands and all. Now, if I type pwd, I'm in users home directory. So I'm just going here. I'm just typing cd $Oracle. This is in capital _ home. I'll explain these things again. And this I'm typing pwd. Print working directory. I want to see where I am as of now in terms of a directory. Now, this particular directory structure is a standard. U01 app Oracle product 12.2. I'm in 12.2. I can go for 19 as well. 12.2 DB home 1. So this is a standard that we follow when installing Oracle database. So those standards are defined where under the Oracle Flexible Architecture. Oracle Flexible Architecture is telling what is the user, standard user, Oracle user, roles for the user, privileges for the user, and what are the directory structure. Now U01 app Oracle coming from Oracle Flexible Architecture. Not only the installation, rest of the database, how to manage the database also defined in Oracle Flexible Architecture. So we will learn that from more detail later. So for the time being, even in Windows, if you go to Windows, we know that in Windows we have U01, the same architecture is there. Now this is in Linux again app. So if I go back to Windows, so this is, you can see in D we have a folder called app Oracle. So thereafter is the same structure, product, because Windows you don't have U01 things, no, there are no mount points, no, here we have directories and folders. In Linux we have mount points. So U01 means app Oracle here, then after that product 12.1, 12.2 DB home is following the same pattern. Now, as per Oracle Flexible Architecture, this is known as what? This whole folder path, this total path is known as Oracle home directory. This is known as Oracle home. Because every installation, there comes Oracle home. We can say Oracle 11G home, 12C home, 19C home, 21C home, likewise. Now here, which home I am in? I am in 12.1, Oracle 12C home. So if it is 19C, I can say 19C home. So what is the home? Entire directory is my home. That is what. Because when you installing Oracle, you need to follow this concept, Oracle home concept. The second concept is Oracle base. Oracle base. Oracle base is nothing much, just the main directory. Now I can take up to this place as Oracle base. D app Oracle product up to this place is Oracle base. Actually, even product can be taken off, but it's okay. D app Oracle, that's the Oracle base. So Oracle base is a part of Oracle home actually. It's definitely a part of Oracle home. So within one base, I can have what? Different installations. So for example, you can see if I go to product, now you can see I have 12.1 and 90C both, but different homes, same base. Oracle base comes up to here, but different homes, right? Why 12.1, 93 are different installation, different two homes. This is my 19C home. If I just DB home 1, if I just copy this one, this is my 19C home. But base, did it change? No, same base. That is what. So that is a way of organizing installations within a single server. I mentioned in the testing environment, we may need to have multiple versions of Oracle databases within the same machine. We may need to. But in production, we don't do that. We maintain a single database in a single server, single physical server. For high availability purpose, we can have standby in another server. Clustering is a different thing. So let's talk about those things later. Oracle base. Now these things are explained nicely here. The ID command. Now we just learned what is the ID command is, and the SU Oracle command still I didn't explain. If you go down, Oracle home and base is there. Here we have something called a bash profile. We will come to that. Within the bash profile, we have Oracle home and Oracle base. Any questions up to that place you can ask. I am going to get into the bash profile in more detail, but any questions you can ask. Very important to understand these basics. Okay, so looks like we are good. Then, now what is SU Oracle? Let's get into there. Now here I am in, let me come back to root. I am in root localhost. Localhost is nothing but just my machine name. Host name command will give me what is my machine name. Localhost or local domain. That is how the terminal comes. This is a terminal, no? So I can just close this and I can right click and say open a terminal, like this, open a terminal, like that. Sorry. Okay, so now I am right away in root, no? So I need to switch to Oracle. How can I do switch into Oracle user? So the command is SU Oracle. SU is what? Switch user. Switch user. Who is the user? Oracle. Remember, there is a space here. SU space minus space Oracle. What do you mean by minus? Okay, let's do it and see. Now, if I switch to Oracle, it will go to Oracle. Now, if I type pwd here, now you can see I am in where? Home directory, like in Windows desktop. In Linux, each and every user is having a home folder that is known as home/username. That is how, very simple. Now, I use SU-Oracle, then it took me to my home right away to the correct home. Okay, I'm exiting again. Now I am with user. Now I switch to Oracle now. Now earlier I was in root. Now I switch to Oracle. So I'm in Oracle now. So I'm going to exit here. Now I am telling without minus. No minus this time. I press enter. Will it switch? Yes, it will switch. But you just notice the difference. See, earlier it said with the switch Oracle localhost only, but now it is telling Oracle localhost, but after that there's something called root. And now if you type pwd, where am I? It is no longer taking me to the home folder of that user. Why is that? Because I skipped this minus sign. So what do you mean by minus? Minus means take that user to the home folder, That is what it does. There are two things actually. First thing is that it will take you to the home folder. And there's another thing called bash profile. We will learn that one just in few minutes. We will learn that. So got this one. So what is the best practice? Best practice, always try to get used to using minus. We need to go to the home folder of that particular user whenever we are switching the environment in the terminal. That's the best practice. Got it? If you have questions, you have to ask, right? These things are important. So I'm looking at the chat, no questions. Okay. No auditory questions as well. So let's continue. Fine. Now switch the user to record. Now, what's the next option? Next thing, now I told minus will do two things, right? Next thing is minus is what? Executing something called a bash profile. A bash profile. BASH. What is a bash profile? You can see in the guide it is there. I will upload this guide so you can relaxly check this one. So this is, I have explained the same, don't worry, right? Everything is explained. SU username. And what it does, bash profile, this is what. So if I just type vi.bash profile, let's go invoke the bash profile, invoke, let's get into the bash profile. vi.bash underscore profile. Okay, did I get the correct bash profile? Yeah, it's okay. Because this is a new way of managing a bash profile. So this is a bash profile. What is a bash profile? Anyone knows what is a bash profile? What it does? Don't know already, Anba. No what? Bash profile? You can Linux දන්නේම නෑ වගේ. Is that? Okay, let's learn. Let's learn. So bash profile is what? That is a executable file like Windows bat file, bash file. Windows we have, you can remember the old days we had the bat.bat files, no? Which we can execute to set the environment, set the desktop settings. Similarly, bash profiles will set the environmental settings, environmental variables. Yeah, exactly, configurations, that's good, bash profile. It will set up the environment for that particular user. So we will see what is the environment. Now this bash profile, why we are configuring, because to bring some Oracle settings. The reason is now once I am switching, see, when I am exiting, I told you this hyphen will do two things. No, this will do two things. One thing is what? Taking the user to the home directory. Second thing is what? It will execute the bash profile. Like the bat profile in bash files in Windows, this will execute the .bash profile. It will run the bash profile. Content of the bash profile get executed. When? If I give minus. If I don't give minus, it don't get executed. That's what happens. So all the settings are not going to come for my user who is switch. So let's switch it. Now, what are the contents? Now, in this particular bash profile, now the initial part, now by default with the installation, these things are coming. .bash, RC, and don't worry about the initial part. This is, I mean, RC files are a little bit different. So there's a way that RC files are working in Linux. So let's not go there. And if I, this is this if condition. Now, this is what you have to think about. Use a specific environment variable. This is by default anyway, it's the RC profile. RC, just leave it. Now, path, I am setting the path for bin directory. That is also by default there. This is the most important one. Export path also there. That is to set this path. In Windows, we set the path. Now, same way Linux, we say export. We set the variable values for the path and we export. So then it will get executed for our terminal. That's what's going to happen. Terminal means where you are typing in the bash, because in the terminal there are we have the editors, no, bash editor. Then we have other type of editors are there. Okay, so we are in mainly bash editor. Anyway, keep it tight, doesn't matter. Let's say it's a terminal, don't worry about the editors as well. Let's leave it. Now, what we are doing, we are setting the path for our executable commands and we are exporting the path for my editor. That's all. Then comes the important one after that. Now, I am executing a sh file. We are telling sh is script. In Linux, sh means shell scripts. Shell, shell. So we have the, earlier I told you, bash, ksh. So those are shells actually. Even though I mentioned editors are shells and two different things. In Linux, we have something called, now I ran this command, no? Earlier I didn't explain. I type something called VI. So VI is what is an editor. Like Notepad in Windows, Linux, we have editors. So VI is one of the famous editors. So since I want to see the content of this particular bash file, I just mention, okay, take it to the editor. VI, this is my file. So that is the editor. But now this terminal, this $sign is telling me about something called a shell. So I am in bash shell at the moment because dollar means bash shell. So we have corn shell, that means KSH, BSH, different shells are there in Linux. So don't worry about those things at the moment. But VI is I'm calling the editor, and this is my bash file and the content. So I have something called sh file. I told you is script, shell script. Shell script is nothing much. We can run the script within the shell. In the case now earlier, this is my bash shell. So in the bash shell, I can just run the script. I can just tell the command sh the file name. It will run it. Like in Windows, we are telling to run the bat files. So similarly, we can run the sh files in Linux. So if I just want to execute this file, I can come out. I can go to this folder. I can do something like this. I can say sh, and I can just give that particular set env.sh file. So it will execute like the bat file. But what are the contents in the file? That is important. Now, this is the total thing is my bash file. No, this is my bash file. I am in the bash file. So inside the bash file, I am calling another shell script. So where is that? Home Oracle scripts. That is where it is. So it's in Oracle users home folder within a script directory or folder, and in that there's a file. And I'm telling dot. Dot is what? You see, initially there's dot. Dot is just to run that one. So in Linux, most of the places, dot means execute the sh file. So what Linux will do when I am switching to this Oracle user with hyphen, it will check the bash file and it will run the content on it. So first it will run up to this place, then it will look at the dot, then it will check this sh file, go to the sh file, okay, execute the content because I have given the dot. Got it? Okay, so let's get into that particular file. Now, where am I? I am in Oracle now. So in that, there's a the directory call or folder call scripts. Here we have ls-ltr. So scripts is a directory because beginning we see the D. D is for directory. Otherwise, if it is not a directory, you don't get the directory. D is not there. So here all these all are files. Hyphen means it's a file, and I have downloads directory, script directory open like that. So I want to go to scripts directory. So I'm just typing sc and cd, sc and put in tab. So it will automatically fill it. No need to type the whole thing. Sc and tab, it will fill it. So inside that I should have my file. This is the file. You may remember in my bash file, the path was this. Home Oracle scripts. So now I want to see the inside. What are the content of this particular directory? What are the content? Let's take a look. Set env.sh file. So here we go. These are the content. What it says. Now things are familiar for you. Now the things that we have learned, some of the things that we have learned, you can see Oracle Home is there, Oracle Base is there. So we just learned this Oracle Home, Oracle Base, and Oracle Home. And other than that, we have host name is there. Oracle unique name, that is the database name actually. It's another way, another variable to set the database name, unique name, or either database name or unique name. So both are valid actually. Here we have given the unique name, that's okay. And it's the same thing, Oracle 12c. And we have the SID. Should we didn't learn anything called SID, but we will learn that one. SID stands for Oracle System Identification. System identification. Because database name, DB name, show parameter name, select name from below database. So that name exists at the database level, DB level, once the database started. But before that, operating system should know what is the database name. OS should know. So without database starting Oracle, OS doesn't know what it is. So at the OS level, there is an environment variable telling Oracle _SID to set the database name. SID is system identification. So this is to tell OS, operating system, the database name is this environment variable. So these all are environment variables such as Oracle base, Oracle hostname, all are environment variables. So now can you understand what we are doing in the bash file? We are setting our environment like that earlier mentioned configurations. Configurations required to run my Oracle environment. I need the database name. I need where is my software. So that's path is given. And the machine name also there, temporary directory, those things are fine. And again, finally, I am exporting the path. Otherwise, I can't run this SQL Plus. SQL Plus is just a tool. It is installed where? You can see path I am setting to Oracle bin, home bin. Now, what is bin? We can take a look. Okay, you will understand it. Now, Oracle home bin is this. Okay, let's change this one. Just go to that and see what is bin. In Windows also, we have same thing. Now, if I go back, CD, this is my place, Oracle home bin. So I like this, I can right away change, right? Because now Oracle home is an environment variable. I want to get the value of that one, so I am putting $ in front. If I put $ in front, it will right away call the value of this Oracle home. What is the value of this Oracle home? What was the value? Can anyone tell? Now you know the value should be what? This one, right? This is Windows, but in Linux, you not run app Oracle like that. So I am calling that value right away. So then if I just type pwd, I am in that path. You can see Oracle home value, it has right away put in here. Because I use $. $. Will call the value of this particular variable within my bash file. So I can look at like this also. I can say display of echo. I want to see the value of that variable. I can say echo. Echo means show me the value of that particular variable. In Windows, we type the set command. Can you remember set command in Windows? In Linux, set is equal to echo. So this is the value. Echo $ Oracle home. This is the value. So what was our requirement now? What are the content in the bin directory? Now bin is nothing much. We know in normally whenever we say bin directory, inside that we get the executable files. So that's why now if I just type lsltr, LTR is nothing much. I can just say LSL. That's okay. Loan listing. LS list in a sorted way. TR means time manner. In the modified time now Linux, Windows we have the right click and we say sort according to the modified updated. So Linux also we have. And if I just type LTR, now these all are most of the things are executable things. Within the bin directory, most of things are executable. Bin directory. Now I am running this command. Can you remember? SQL plus. Now where is SQL plus? It is within this bin directory. I can just check. We say ls minus l list SQL plus SQL asterisk. It will show me SQL plus. Here we have inside bin directory. So that's why executable I am calling from bin directory. So definitely in my bash file, I should tell that path. I think you may remember. Okay, let me just use the short. Since you may not understand if I just do a lot of changes. So let me just do it in this way. I want to see the content in this one. Now where am I? I am here. So the content is on the script directory. So let me just check that one. Okay. So this is what. So what I am doing, I am telling set the path for bin. Why? Because I need to execute those tools, SQL plus, there are a lot of other tools. And I am exporting that path, export path, so that my path variable will know where is my bin folder is. And this is about Java settings and all, because Oracle need for certain things, Java libraries and all is there. So that's what I'm setting those things. So normally these are standard settings. I mean, we can copy these settings from anywhere in the internet, so and you can just paste it, just a matter of changing the path and all. These are normally default when installing Oracle in Linux. Good idea. Any questions? Any questions? You can ask any questions if you have. Up to that place, if you have any problems, you can ask. Is there a specific reason why Oracle Linux advises against installing UFW and use IP tables directory? Is there any specific reason why Oracle Linux advises against installing what is this UFW?
Default firewall on you Ubuntu.
Default DFW, default firewall, and use IP tables directory. Okay. It's like this. Now, normally, when installing Oracle, we are disabling the firewall. I mean, that is what we are asking. So, in Linux, we have different ways to manage firewalls. This IP table is one technique. There are other techniques as well. But we don't touch IP tables when you install in Oracle for the standard installation. Let's say you want to install a normal database like we are doing in the practical. We just want to install a standalone database. So we never touch the IP tables there. So leave it. But what we are doing, we are stopping the firewall because we don't want to block certain ports. That's why we are doing that. Because if the firewall is on, it might, even during the installation, certain Java files, it might block, and certain port settings it might block. So therefore, we are initially disabling the firewall. We are stopping it, and later the way we want, we can configure it. Till the installation completes, yes, we are disabling and stopping the firewall. And IP tables we don't touch. Yeah, go ahead. Any questions?
In Oracle Cloud, if you were to create let's say a computing instance, so what's the standard way? Like usually just don't use any firewalls in the container, like in the computer instance, or just use their the security group. Like
yeah, that is a different thing. Now this is I just mentioned on-premise. Now if you go for your cloud instance, now let's say the very first, I'll be doing that practical, and I can do it today, but I'm just planning to do it on next week on Oracle and all. So it's like this. If you want to launch a cloud instance, you can just launch like the way we did in last day for AWS instance. So you can launch it, and you can use a tool like this. Earlier last day I mentioned this on mobile stuff. So you can use that. By default, port 22 is open. Anyway, port 22 is by default open. So you can just connect without doing adding any firewall rules. You do nothing, just connect.
So if I want to manage any ports or open any like if I want to manually manage firewall rules in Oracle Clouds, like what's the standard day, like using their GUI or?
Exactly. You can do the basic things by introducing the security group like in AWS. You can do it. Oracle also, they have security groups. But if you want in Oracle, separate firewall based on IP tables, and there's another one, I am not getting in that one. You have a different advanced firewall as well on Oracle security. Oracle enhanced security is there now in the cloud, because Oracle advanced security is there, enhanced security is there, encryption, a lot of security features are there in cloud separately. For the basic things, you can use security groups, but for advanced things, you have to use Oracle advanced security in the cloud. Got it?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. But anyway, this is the theoretical answer I just gave, but that is not enough. Since you have the interest, that's a very good thing. So let me just demonstrate. On next day, I'm just planning to invoke Oracle Cloud and launch an instance and connect. In fact, my plan is to start a database also, and we need to understand how to connect from on-premise or connect from on-premise to Oracle Cloud using a tool like SQL Developer. So we have SQL Developer now. I have. But let's do it on next day. I'm planning on next day because first we need to get some background knowledge like this. Then let's touch on those things. Okay, for the time being, I hope it's okay, right? You got the answer, no?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, thanks. No problem. So any other questions like that? So I hope you are understanding these things, Linux things. Okay. Great. So let's continue. Now that is about bash profile. Now bash profile and the bash script. So both are same. You got the idea what it does. Let's see what up next. Now everything is explained here. See what I just explained, all the things I explained in the note, it is there. Fine, and this is about VI editor. How to exit from the VI editor also given there, right? So that is if you are a total beginner. Now once you invoke VI editor, how do you come out? You just say escape and colon and Q. Exclamation is without I mean saving come out, or you can say WQ. WQ is write and quit. That is if you do any modifications, save and come out from the editor. So write and quit, or we can just say Q and exclamation without saving to come out. So the very first thing is escape and colon, right? Within the colon only you are typing those things. Likewise. So that is also explained. If you try these things, if you are a total beginner, you might get into trouble how to come out. So I have given it. As for the above bash profile, okay, we have learned that one. And now the location, okay, bash profile, yeah, okay, right. Now this is another one. Now this this particular sign, yeah, can't remember the name. It doesn't matter, right? So this will take you to the home. See, from wherever you are, if you want to come to home folder of that user, you can use this particular mark. Let's try it and this way. Now because now I am in script directory now. So now if I execute vi.bash profile, see what happens. Bash profile. So it will not load. Why? Because it will look the file in the current directory. So here I don't have anything called bash profile now in this current directory. I don't have it. So if I want to execute bash, if I want to open bash profile from this folder itself, from here itself, I can try out this. Can say this mark slash bash profile like that. That is what is explained there. Then it will load because this particular sign tilde, no tilde sign. Yeah, now I got the name. This tilde sign will take me to the home directory of that particular user, and slash means the home directory itself, and open this particular file. That's what it does. So whenever you want to go to the home directory of that user, use tilde, and after that slash means the same home folder, and open the file. That is what is explained there. That is also explained in the note. Okay, that is tilde mark. Okay, so activity 1 continues here. So this is yeah, and I think we have echo oracle home, we just learned that one, and grep ps minus ef grep last day we learned. You may remember process list command, ef is to extract. Just go to this note, everything is explained properly. Fine, and SQL plus idle instance. Okay, let's do this now. Idle instance, I think last day we did that. No, anyone can recall idle instance? Can you remember idle instance? Matagal, what is idle instance? Anyone? I mean, you have idle instance. But in idle instance, if it is if there's a database, it is down. That is what idle instance is. If there's a database, it is down. That is idle. Idle means that. Or in this case, it is not down, but database is up and running because we never use shutdown command. No. But the proper name or the environment variables are not being set, I think. That's what has happened here. That's what it says idle instance. So if I just properly come out from here and I'm going to switch it properly, and let's try now SQL plus. So actually says idle instance. So let's check it then. Because as I set the values, right? I switch to Oracle, then the bash file executes. So all environment variable is done. No? Environment settings are done. So that means, let's say whether it's correctly showing me the DB name. I'm just typing echo. Echo is to display $Oracle underscore SID. I want to see the value of the SID because that is the one which tells the name of the database at OS level. It says Oracle 2LC. Why is telling Oracle 2LC? So let's check that from VI. I just want to see .bash file. Command was there. And we need to go to this particular place. Let's go to scripts, ls, and if I just get set script, yeah, Oracle SID ORCL 2LC. That's true because SID I have set to 2LC, ORCL 2LC. So maybe the database is down. Then let's try to start it up. Let's see. We can check it. No, how we can check it? Can you remember how to check the database is up and running? You just noticed, no? Last day we learned ps minus ef grep. Can you remember this command? Grep pmon. I want to see what our database is up and running. So at the moment, there is a database called TNH19DB is up and running, but there is no such database called Oracle 2LC is up and running. It is not up and running. So what is running at the moment? TNH19DB. So that's why it says idle instance. Correct? Because there is no such database up and running. So idle means there is nothing running like that. So either we have to start this one, or we better switch to this one. We have whatever choice we can do. But at the moment, if you just notice, it is running on 12.2. See, when I am running SQL Plus, it is working at the moment on 12 environment. Because you may remember our installation, it does dual installation, right? It is installing 12 and 90 in the same environment. So it is my choice to run. Which one to run? I have to select. So by default, at the moment, I think I have selected 12 to 1. So how can I switch? How can I switch? Anyone tried? Anyone? How? Now I want to switch to 19C. What is the easiest method? Anyone? You have tested it, you know. The easiest method is this. Now I want to switch to 19C. I can say .ORAENV. Oracle environment. I am just telling my database name. See, currently my Oracle environment is pointing to 2LC. I want to switch to 19C. I'm just typing my database name, which is up and running at the moment. So then it should switch that one. It gave me the message Oracle base unchanged. Yeah, Oracle base is same, no? Because Oracle base is common for 19 and 2LC, but home it should have changed by now. Now if I check SQL Plus, let's see what happens. Yes, now it's calling 19C. See, earlier it called 12.2. Now it's calling 19C. So I just use a shortcut. What was the shortcut? I executed another script, shell script. Now this is the inbuilt sh file. Since I want to switch the environment to 19C, I just mentioned, okay, you run this one. We can check the content of this, but it already do that. Okay, we switch the environment. I want to switch this. If I give a wrong name here, again there will be a problem. We can try that one. See, I'm going to give a wrong name. Let's say .ORENV. So I'm telling let's say ABC. There's nothing called ABC. No. Now it is asking more details because it can't find anything called ABC. It is asking me, okay, where is ABC? It's on Oracle home as well. You can't find. So if I give this, now it's giving me errors as well. You can set Oracle base manually information not available for current user ID. Likewise, there are errors because it doesn't know anything called ABC. So if I am setting the value for RNENE, I need to set the correct value for an existing database like this. So then it is switched nicely. So now I am back to my 19C environment. So now I didn't get idle instance command. Why? That database is up and running. Up and running. Earlier idle instance means it is down. So I can just say select status from reader instance open. Database is open. Got it? I think that is yeah, that is not explained here. I think it will explain later, but since I want to explain this one, yeah, it is not explained there. Yes, it is using startup command, but you can continue with startup command, no problem. Anyway, it's okay. It will be explained later in document somewhere. Yeah, it will explain later, no problem. Right. Okay, any questions after that, please? Any questions? I think today is the 4th session we are doing, no? Yeah, so we need to do assignment also in the middle before going to the last things. So, so let's do more practicals and so make sure you are getting familiar with practicals. Any questions you have to clear with me. I don't keep the questions. Okay. Make sure you are getting everything correctly. Now select the, yeah, any question?
Sir,
Yeah.
මේ Oracle එක සර් දාලා තියෙන virtual machine එක නේද?
Oh, Nitya.
මේ ඒක වීඩියෝ එකක් තියෙද ඒක දාන හැටි මම මේ YouTube එකේ ගොඩක් බැලුවා.
Oracle VirtualBox installation.
ඔව් සර් මේ මගේ අර 11 එකේ නිසා මේ Oracle දාගන්න බෑනේ.
ඒක pretty simple. ඔයාට ඕනේ මේ virtual මේක දාගන්නනේ.
ඒ කියන්නේ නෑ virtual machine එකේ මේ DB home එක run කරගන්න.
Yeah, that is there. That is explained in the channel. That is there. Nitya. Full explanation is there. Even the document guide එකක් තියෙනවා. You go to here. මේ Oracle portal එකේ if you go down, මෙතන number, video number, මෙතන 1 2 3 4 මෙන්න මේ video 4 මේක explain කරනවා. You can see Oracle DB 1293 same host. මෙතන දාලා මේ හතර වෙන එක බලන්න මේ හතර තියෙනවා. And the document step by step document
Sell online.
Google එක කළා බෑනේ ඉතින් ඇඩ් දාලා නෙවෙයි doesn't matter skip කරලා යන්න. Right. මෙතන මේ document එකේ step by step තියෙනවා. click කරලා ගන්න.
හරි.
try කරලා බලන්න. බැරිනොත් මට කියන්න.
හරි.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. No problem. Okay. So let's continue. Any questions you can ask? So that is database idle instance and that one. Now let's say now I just resolve the idle instance problem by switching the environments. No, I just switch to 11 but next not like that. Let's do it in this way. Okay, now I am going to introduce another new command. Last day I think we ran the startup command. Shutdown also we did. So I'm going to do a shutdown. I'm going to use the option called immediate. Let's use the short command. No need to go type full shutdown. I'm just type in shut immediate. Now what is doing? A quick shutdown. You'll understand shutdown methods. There are 4 methods actually. If you just type shut, it will go normal shutdown. This is a quick shutdown. Now once I shut down the database, even if I set the environment to correctly 19Z, now still I will get idle instance command. That's true, no? And DB down, now it's idle, that's true. Idle. Okay, you can just simply start up, type startup, it will start. But we did that one on last day. We just ran the startup command. No? Let's do something like this. Okay, let's first experience the startup again. Okay, starting up. Now on the way down, it said close, dismounted, and shut down. On the way up, it is going in the opposite way. First thing is instant started. So Linux is quick. You can remember last day we had to wait nearly a minute in Windows. Now Linux 3 within seconds it came up. Instant started, mounted, and opened. Opposite direction. When it shut down, closing, dismounting, finally the instance goes off. When it starts, the very first thing is instance. Then the second thing is mount and opening. 3 steps, 3 stages. Okay, let's shut down again. Shut. Immediate. Shut immediate. Now I am doing something like this. I am trying to break down the startup process into steps. That is possible. I am typing startup. I am telling, okay, do not mount. No mount. Now what will happen? It didn't mount it. What happened? Only the first space, and it completed. Instant started. That's it. Now if I get the status, select. Now what it says? Started. Earlier you may notice open. That is fully completed database, ready to be connected. End users can connect. But now in this state, it says started. What is started? Instant started. That's it. No one can connect yet. DBA can connect from the local system. Database administrator can connect. That's why I have connected now. Started. I can break down. So what's the next step? Start what's the next step? Yeah. I can. Yeah, you should. Now you are learning. Just tell me what is the next step. Startup instance. What is the order? First thing was instant startup. Then what is the next step? Mount, ne? Yeah, mount. Yeah. So then I had to alt different command. Alt database. I had to say mount. It's a different command. It's already started. I can again type startup. So now I'm telling alter the state of the current database to mount. Then I am selecting the status. Now it's a mounted. Now it's mounted. Then similarly, the final command is what? I can just say open. Or database open. Fine. See how fast Linux is, right? So it's a fraction of a second it is processing. Again, if I just now check, now I am fine. Now my status now completed. Open. Any questions? 3-step process. Starting Oracle database going across 3 stages: instance up, mounting, and opening. But still we don't know what is happening in each stage. I mean, outside the game. We need to dig in and see what is happening in each stage. What is instant started? What is the instance? What are the components inside the instance? What do you mean by mount? Those things we need to learn. Any questions up to this place? Yeah. And there's one question. Is it always going to be one instance per machine or per machine? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, let me answer that one first. One instance per machine. Actually, the right wording is one instance per database. That is what. One to one. One instance per DB. That is what. That is the right thing. So machine means now, on a computer, we can have multiple databases. There is no restriction, as I mentioned earlier. In a testing environment, we do that. But normally, in a production environment, if you are running a standalone, that is known as standalone database. Standalone database, the relationship is 1 to 1. That means one instance, 1 DB. Single database always deals with one instance. Is it clear? The question is clear. Fine. Let me take you to another step. So, we have another environment called multi-instance environment. Like a single instance name. This is known as 1 DB has several instances. Several instances. Clustered environment. Clustered environment. Why is that? Is for high availability. HA. High availability. When a single database is having multiple instances, what do you mean by high availability? Even if one instance crashes, the rest of the instances are up and running, so that end users can still continue their work. That is what high availability. Highly available database will not go down, because single database shared across multiple instances. Even if one instance goes off, rest of the instances are up and running, because each instance located in a different machine. So that is the situation, enhanced version of the question that you just asked. Per machine, per instance can be there in a clustered environment related to a single database. But in a standalone environment, one machine always has one database and one instance, 1 to 1. 1, 1, 1 actually. Okay, so in a cluster environment, 1 to many. We will talk that in more detail later once we get the basics done. So in production, we run clustering environments for high availability because we cannot afford to have database downtime. Database shutdown means what? You are losing business. Customers can't connect, end users can't connect, they can't work. So you are losing business. Losing business means you are losing transaction. That means you are losing money. So that is not affordable. Oracle database is zero downtime, zero data loss database at any given point. We can configure it. Zero downtime, zero data loss. They can down in net, data native net Oracle database, guarantee. But we need to configure that one in such a way. Got it? Okay. Any more questions? These are Oracle key points. If you get SQL, they will say, okay, we guarantee 99% 9 downtime prevention. Postgre 99% 9 downtime prevention. Oracle 100% downtime prevention. Any questions you can ask? Now you, some of you mentioned MongoDB, no? Yeah, MongoDB is by nature supporting what kind of business? I mean, we support OLTP, MongoDB, OLTP. OLTP means structured data, like table has rows and columns for a banking business, telecom business. We support that one. Because MongoDB is normally known to be, it is better performing on an unstructured environment, non-structured data, or document data likewise, big data likewise, big data management. So if you try to occupy both structured and unstructured data within MongoDB, and if you try to operate them parallelly, what MongoDB will do, it will give better performance when the queries are searching for non-structured. That means documents, likewise non-structured textual data. But it will slow down when it's going for OLTP environment, structural queries like normal select commands. So that's what's going to happen in MongoDB. So we need a database we are performing in the same way for structured and unstructured. So those are the challenges. That is why converged database, that is one of the features in converged database. Okay, fine. So let's continue this one. Now we understood what is startup and shutdown basically, and we have these commands as well. Let's shut down. So I'm going to do a quick shutdown. This is, don't try it, but you can try, it doesn't matter. But in production, we don't do that. Now, if you try this, shut, abort, see what happens. Earlier we tried what? Shut immediate, no. This one, right? And you saw the stages, close, dismounted. But if you just abort, see what happens. You don't see much steps, only one step, very fast. But you don't do abort in production. Abort is like just switching off the machine directly, right? Or taking the power cable away from the machine, just shutting it down. It won't crash. It won't crash. Very quick way of shutting down. There are situations we need to abort the database in Oracle environment. We don't lose data depending on the situation. So the subsequent startup command will take time if you abort it. We'll understand more detail later. Okay, abort command. And we can restart database as well. But before that, now vran command startup no mount. No, we have this command as well. Startup mount. I can right away bring to mount. Earlier we bring it to no mount. No, now just to mount. So it will start the database and it will mount and keep. It won't open. So I can just say alter database. Op. So that will open. Okay, like so. Startup command. And further, the startup. Okay, restart. How can I restart the database? I can say startup. Force. There was any query? No. Startup force. FORC. This will restart. We can't see the shutdown operation, but it will restart. Okay, now why not you look at this? Now, if you want to see what's happening behind, there's a way, right? I didn't show you that, we will learn it later. But for the time being, see what I'm monitoring on the right hand side, it shows everything what's happening behind. What is this one? Anyone knows? What is this? What I am looking at now? Anyone? The log, yes. Oracle main log. What is it known as? The alert log file. Alert log file. Whatever happening in the database, as it's happening, when it's happening, we can check it. Let me do one more thing. Okay, it's open now. Now let me shut again. Abort. I'm aborting on the right hand side. Let me show you where I am taking this file as well. Now in Linux, these things are possible. Linux, I can refresh it as it happens. Now when the commands are processing on this window, alert file will dynamically update. Now in Windows, I can't do it unless I have PowerShell or Notepad++. Default Notepad build.update like this. No, alert file is this. It is located in this place. U-Note1 app Oracle diagnostic directory. We haven't gone there yet. RDBMS, database name, again database name, trace directory. In there we have the alert file. The name of the alert file goes in this way. Let me just run the tail command or ls command, list the file al tab. The name of the alert file goes in this way, alert _ database name dot log. That's the way. Every Oracle database has a main alert file, major log file in Oracle database. Now, if I want to if I want to see what is happening as of now, while the commands are processing on the left hand side, I can type tail. Tail means show me the end of the alert file. F means show me the updates continuously. Tail minus F, tail is the command, continuously update minus F as is appended to the file, show me. That's what minus F is. File name is alert. I just press enter, it will not give me the control. Now, if I just type shutdown abort on left hand side, see I am typing shutdown abort here, and just monitor right hand side. Let me just view or show me. Okay. Now just watch what's happening. Abort. See, just shut down complete. Very fast because abort, no, it doesn't give you that much of information as well. Shutting down database, abort, that's what. License high watermark, we understand later. Terminating instance, that's it. Very quick shutdown, instant shutdown complete. But for a normal shutdown, it will give you a lot of lines, lot of information. Okay, let me try out another thing. Startup, mount, again I am mounting. So relevant information will be visible on the right hand side. It will give you a lot of information, parameter file and a lot of things are there. All database mount completed. Yeah, database mounted. I want to do something like this. Alter database open read only. Yeah. Let me just minimize this latter part. Okay. Now, can anyone tell me what happened now? I just want to open read only. I think you understand read only, no? So database open and read only means what? Only querying. We can't run update commands when it's read only. DML commands, data manipulation language command, update, create commands, DDL. We can't do that while in read only mode. Anything going to change the database, we can't do. Read only, no. But select queries are possible. But it give me error, no? I want to open read only. Now it says database requires recovery. Now, can anyone tell me why is that? If you just kept listening properly what the explanation what I did earlier, make a match කරගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ. Can anyone try? What happened? Yes, make an attempt. These things can happen even when you do practicals. But anyone, yeah, try it, give a try. Very good. Challenge is too much for what? Yeah. Let me make it easy for you. If I go up, what was the method I shut down the database? Abort, no? Abort. So I mentioned earlier, abort is not doing a proper shutdown. Even if you notice in the lab file, you show that. Just crash shutting it down. And I mentioned it's like removing the power cable of the machine. Just shut it down. And I mentioned subsequent startup will take time. Now after shutting down abort, did I make a proper startup? No, I make it mounted right away. And I want him to make it read only. Another change I want to apply without doing a proper open. So that's what it says. No, you can't do that. Before you doing any more changes to database, make sure you have a consistent database. What is a consistent database? Not a database aborted abnormally. Do a proper shutdown or do a proper normal startup and allow me to make the database consistent. That means allow me to do the necessary recoveries for the database. Otherwise, it is not a consistent database. That's what it says, needs recovery. So before making it read only, I better try this. Do a normal open, alter database open, and let the database to do automatic recovery. You will understand those things later. Because I just aborted the database, nothing happened to the physical structure, but the instance just crashes. Database instance just goes off. So you need to need some recovery, because in the instance means some component in the memory. So there are ongoing activities database in the memory. Once the memory component just crash, it loses those activities. So that's why I need to do a consistency check. So do a normal open. So I can explain these things on the right hand side what is happening, but too early. It is doing some recovery, checkpoint and all. Let's understand those things later. Now database open. Now I can go for a normal shutdown. Let's do an immediate shutdown. That's okay, not a abort. Shut immediate. So now it's taking a little bit of time because it did a recovery right after doing a shutdown. Almost finished on right hand side, but it didn't retrieve me the control yet. Shutdown instance immediate, login disabled, and yeah, still is continuing. Yeah, now it says normal. Yeah, it's closed. Yes, now it's fine. There's a process ID which is running 120 requesting restore. Okay, OS ID instance down, fine. Yeah, it's completed. So now I can do what? Startup mount. Okay, I want to make it read only now. Okay, let's do it now. Now I want alter database open read only. Okay, now it's said on the right hand side DB recovery. Okay, that's okay. Database space, that's fine. Database was open in read only access. Read only. I can check this one. I can say select open underscore mode from $B database. It says read only. Under read only, if I just run this command, create table, whatever, T10, just a table in number. What will happen? Let's see. Database or pluggable database open by read only access. So I can't run create command. That's not possible. But select command, yes, I can. I think describe table, describe a file. A file should be a table like that. I don't have such table anyway. If there's a table, I can check, but let's do it later. But read only I can select, but no updates, no DMLs are possible. So now how can I make it read write? Can I do like this? Alter database, okay, let's try it. Alter database open, read write, will it work? No, the database once it open, again I can't open, no, right? Database is already open by instance. So I should do a proper shutdown. So I can do try it now like the let's try it. Startup. Will it work? Force open. I don't think this syntax will support. Let's try it. I can remember there was option. Startup force open read only. Not sure that it start, but in 21C there was an option like that, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. This is I'm in 19C. Okay, got it. Again, I put it read only. That is not practical. That's I had to put read right. Read right, not read only. Yeah. But in production, this is not recommended because I am just doing forcing startup. Forcing startup, can you see the shutdown? Now to restart, it should shut down first. No, on the alert file you can see that is happening. But here you don't see that. No, shutting down is not there. No? Even if I say force, it will just say instant starter. So shutting down is hidden. But remember, when you say force, it does a abort shutdown. That is critical. That's a abort shutdown. Okay. So anyway, that worked. Otherwise, you have to shut down database immediate normal and just you have to say open read write to make it back to read write. So now the things are fine. Now database is read write. Now this particular command will work nicely, no problem. We just create a table. Very simple table create. Good. Okay. Any questions up to that place? Still, we are just getting familiar with the basic commands in the database. Okay. So if you are okay, let's proceed. Let's see our, now we did this one. The commands were this, we just covered shutdown command, startup commands, name, and okay. Yeah, the final one in the first activity. First activity, final one is this. Database version. Now each Oracle database version carries 5 digits. There are 5 digits in the database version. You can just check if you want to check the database version, you can just type select star from $version, do it. Star from $version, you give that output. See, database 19C and the version carries 5 digits. 193,000 is the base version of 19. So these digits, there's a meaning for everything. First one, major release number, database maintenance number. So I was in 19.0. This is 12.1. It's a release number. Next release of 12.1. 12. Now even 12.2 is there. It's an old database now. 12 now. So now in 19.3 and we have patches. So this is the patch number. Third one is the application server release. The middleware release. Compatible middleware for the database. Then the patch number, very important. Last one, platform specific release number, concurrent specific release number. This is the patch actually. So 12.10 component specific release. Yes, we learn more detail about patching and on later. Database version depicts. Yes. Okay. Figure 1.2. Got it. So that ends that particular activity guide. So you can try out those things. So any questions? The video also there. And the commands also visible there. Any questions on first guide you can ask. So up next we have to go for the second guide. Second guide is a little bit advanced and we need to learn the instance architecture and all, because learning the database architecture is a must if you are looking for a career with Oracle. That is the fundamental. It's like the proper foundation for the house. So without the architecture, if you try to start a journey with Oracle, that won't work. You will fall short. So therefore, we need to understand architecture. First, put a firm background, then you are good to go. Any questions you can ask on this? The next guide we have is this. CP2, competency level 2. Yes, so this one. Database login process and database instance. That's the next one. Open. Okay. That's the next one. Yeah. Any questions in the previous one we can ask? So here we have to learn about the database architecture, instance architecture. What is the instance? So let's try to get little by little. Grab little by little, not so complex. So let's try to understand the very basics first, and we will go on to continue. And I'll be using graphics animations because I have it now. This is just a text document PDF I'm using now, but it's not that way. So let me just show you that. We can use these things also to understand Oracle portal, getting architecture. Yeah, I think this one, non-multi-tenancy architecture. Yes. So architecture is explained in a better way using this PowerPoint. I'll use this one, Oracle non-multi-tenancy architecture. So we can deep dive this one on next day. So it will make it easy to understand. This is there in the channel as well, right? Oracle learning, the platform and Oracle platform and the architecture, it is there. But we are not going to cover that much of detailed architecture. We no need, because we will put the base as needed for your current understanding. But if somebody wants to look at the Oracle career in the channel, it is going through currently 28 sessions are done. 28 sessions for the architecture. Short videos, 20 minutes, 30 minutes likewise, but yet to finish, still not finished. Another 2 to 3 videos to be there. So database instance architecture. So we will learn this one in more details. I will use this PPT to get familiar with database instance and all. Memory structures and those things are there. Yeah, so upcoming explanations will take you this instance started now. This is what I mentioned. Now we observe instance is starting, right? But we don't know what's happened behind. So we need to understand the background of the startup command. Now this PPT, this animation will explain that. Startup command, step 1, instance is started. What's happened? What is happening when instance starts? On the behind, there is something called SGA, system global area, and we have the background processes, and we have PGA is there, program global area, SGA, PG, and shared pool, memory structures are there, and database buffer cache. So let's learn those things little by little, and redo log buffer, circular buffer, and likewise. So let's learn these things little by little. Okay, right. Any questions you can ask about to start this one, but I'm just thinking to put it on next day, otherwise we will fall short on this. So next day we will do, I'll demonstrate those cloud practicals as well. So now I think having done the architecture, we are better, but now we have better understanding. Let's try it. Cloud, Oracle Cloud, let's try to connect and see. Having done the architecture, let's launch a database on the cloud also and connect via SQL Developer on-premise. Yeah, but before stopping, any questions you can ask? I'll share the activity guide 1. Of course, you know this is DB, and we have explained this one. Sys user as is DB a database role, and system user I will tell you on next day, because now we know Sys is the super user. System is just down to him. It's another database administrator. By default, Sys and system both are there, but Sys is the owner of the database. System has little lower privileges than Sys. System and Sys, those are the two users. And we will learn this security implementation as well, that we will do on next day. After that, let's jump into the architecture. So I will not use these images. This is for you to understand. I will use that PPT animation. After that, you can read this one, then you will get the proper picture. That's a better approach. These are activity guides, no? So we can't be always going for the activity guide. This is activity for hands-on, but we need to do some theory as well. Parallel, we will go for the activity guide. Yeah, no questions. Any questions? No. Okay, that means all have understood, comprehend well. Okay, fine. If there are no questions, so let's start. Let's do it on next day right away as a presentation. Fine. Okay. Have a great time. Okay. Good night. Bye bye.